Hello, and welcome back to Jesse's Incredible Edible Guitar Show. I guess maybe this will just be a guitar channel after all, just with how much guitar stuff is happening. But, well, we got this on the dining room table today. So basically, our lead guitarist broke an A string a couple practices ago. And then he saw the work I did for my other bandmate on his Warwick and how clean and beautiful that came out. And he wants me to take care of his, basically. This isn't the first time I've done this for him. I've been playing with our lead guitarist since, oh man, it's like 7 years now. I've known him for a while. And I was there when he bought this thing. And as you can see, we've got a bit of a situation here, and this isn't the first time. So he plays pretty hard, and he likes to play over the neck pickup, obviously. And the first time around, he bashed that into the guitar. I fixed it for him, and then it got bashed in there again, and we just haven't fixed it since. The fact it's still floating around in there is kind of impressive. I kind of expected it to like completely break off, which it could very well be. I don't know. But yeah, in any case, we're going to clean this thing up. He never cleans his guitar. You'll see when we get to it. It's pretty gross. If you're watching this, you know, he knows. Anyways, the strange thing is the frets are very clean. So the fingerboard itself is like pretty grimy. It's got a lot of mojo built up on it. But the frets themselves are like pretty clean, so I don't think I'm gonna have to go at them. Like there's a bit of grime on a couple of these frets, but nothing like that Warwick. I don't know why that Warwick was so grimy on the frets. It's just kind of interesting. Could just be a playing style thing, but whatever. And we are going to not do this. I know he likes to do it, but it's in my hand, so I get to cut the strings. Anyways, we're gonna clean it. We're gonna figure out that, and yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Okay, first things first, actually, I want to check if these pickups are still alive. Obviously, I know this one is because he plays with it, so, but we're going to check if that middle one is live. I've got a little crappy portable amp hooked up, so it's going to sound kind of nasty, but it will tell me, you know, if it's actually working. So this pickup, that's alive. Middle position. Hey, that neck pickup is surprisingly still hooked up in there. So looks like we're just gonna have to get some screws and mount it again, and then some foam under there. And I think we'll be okay. So I think what happened is the pickup was just too close to the string, so he was constantly beating on it. And that's what caused it to fall in there. So yeah, first order of business, get the strings out of there. So got the strings loose, just thought I'd talk a bit more. So this is a Squier Mustang Bullet, I believe. I think it's a Bullet Mustang. It doesn't. It usually says on the headstock. I've got myself a Bullet Strat, and it says Bullet on there. So I don't know. I think this is a Bullet. It was really cheap. So I want to say it was part of either the Affinity or Bullet line. I think he mainly got it because of the color, which I don't blame him. It's a really cool seafoam green. All of his tuning pegs, by the way, are super loose. Let me see. Yep, every single one of them. So you just tighten the nut on that. That's no problem. And then, of course, we will give a lesson on how to string your guitar. I know we gave one on the bass, but we could also use one on the guitar, it seems. And yeah, so a few pieces of work to do. Also, you know, I asked if he had strings to do the replacement, and he said they were in the case, and I said, are they new strings? And he said some old, some new. I think, funnily enough, he didn't have an A string in there, but he's gonna get these. He deserves new strings. You know, he's a really good guitarist and one of my good friends, so you deserve new strings, man. You don't have to roam around with the secondhand strings and things just sort of, you know, lying around. You know, and these are like, what are these, $6, $7? I know he likes Ernie balls, so that's just kind of what he had on this already, and then judging by the packaging that he left me, so that's the ones I picked for him, and he plays 10s as far as I know. So that string just came apart. Okay, and those strings are actually, let me grab one. This is crazy because he never changes his strings. Let's see if I can get this on camera. You're not going to really be able to tell. It's not going to focus on something this thin, but you can just see how black. Yeah, you can see the chrome there, right? Then just blackness. Some of these strings are like literally completely black. Here's one. Like, yeah, you would almost think it's one of those like those dyed black strings that are, I think, Diageo, or I actually don't know how to say that brand. I know I think I horribly mispronounced it in my last video. I think I said D'Addario, which is solely wrong. Also, I forgot about this bridge here. I put something under here, like a spacer, and I don't remember why. Something about these saddles I couldn't work with. I think I couldn't get the action low enough. So I raised up the saddles to then lower the saddles. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, basically, but if it needs a neck shim, we'll put in a neck shim. That's no problem. But anyways, I'm actually going to switch views to this fingerboard so you can see how much grime is on it. But yes, I don't know what it is. The frets are not that dirty, but the fingerboard definitely is. So let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so here we are. You can see I've already got my toothbrush ready. And you can see, yeah, whole lot of love on this thing. And you can see from the tuning pegs, they are loose. I took out the screws on the back because I figured if we're just gonna clean the whole thing, I might as well just completely remove these tuning pegs just so they're out of the way, and then put them back on at a later time. So keep all of this together, and I will actually try to make sure to keep them in the same order too. I don't think it really matters, but you can see I could just, if you can undo these by hand, then you know for a fact that they're too loose and they need to be rectified. So my bandmate here, he smokes the Vide, but this doesn't smell like very much like smoke at all. So again, he has good restraint there, which I'm very thankful for, very appreciative of it. Can I get this one? No. That one I'm gonna have to use a little tool. But yeah, we're gonna clean this thing. We're gonna try to use some Murphy's oil soap just to scrub, because again, it's also a soap. So, you know, I have Simple Green here, like ready to go, like finger on the trigger, which we're gonna do on the body and stuff. But I don't like to spray that stuff on the neck. So which one is the correct one? That one. This tool, by the way, they sell at Guitar Center. It's not bad, but these are plastic, so you can't go too tight with those, which is actually a good thing because you don't really want to over tighten anything on your guitar. So it's actually not a bad choice to have that be a plastic tool. And I gotta remember the screws are on here. So what are we gonna do? Let's get some oil soap here. And what I'll do is I'm gonna wipe it down on the fingerboard, and then give that a gold scrub. Also, just wanted to show this. See that like wear and tear on the neck? That's like real relicking. None of that custom shop crap. Anyways, if you like that sort of thing, all power to you, but I do find it a little silly, personally. So that's already lifting a bit off of there. Yeah. So we are going to scrub, though. We will definitely need to scrub. This is a good, like, I'm going to put like a layer of this down. I'm not going to rub it in too deep and then grab my toothbrush and start going at it. I might put a little bit of Simple Green on my toothbrush, but I don't want to like flood this thing with Simple Green. Just going down here to see how much I got to work with. Now, some people like to use steel wool. I've heard about that, but like, why on earth would you want to do that? That stuff is so abrasive. I mean, you wouldn't use steel wool on your balls, man. Don't use it on your guitar. That's just insane. I know people are like, well, it's fine steel wool, so you know it's not going to be a huge issue, but that's way too much. Let's get that off immediately. But still, man, that sounds gross. Just tearing up the wood and the frets and everything, making little micro scratches. Plus, you know, if you've ever handled steel wool, just handling it and it coming in contact with stuff just scratches everything. It's, you know, it's because it's so hard. Anyways, I'm gonna go at this. As you can see, we're making progress, slowly but surely. And I'll get this cleaned up and we'll move to the body for some more cleaning. Okay, warning for anyone with a weak stomach, but you can see I'm getting a good soupy sludge off of this fingerboard. Oh man, the weird thing is it doesn't smell. It doesn't smell like anything. I have no idea. It's very strange. Anyways, I'm gonna keep on, but as you can see, I'm getting a lot of the grime off of it, but you kind of see the discoloration in the wood. That's just like from wear and tear. So I don't know, maybe the secret to relicking a guitar is to not clean it for like 7 years and then let your bassist do work on it. So while cleaning, and it's gonna be kind of hard to see, I noticed that my cloth kind of towels were getting kind of torn up by the frets, and I thought, okay, well maybe they're just sharp fret ends, but I took a closer look, and unfortunately, Buddy here, his frets are coming away from the fretboard, and I don't have quite the proper tools to fix that. But if you can see, like I said, it's gonna be kind of hard to see here. My feeler gauge can get under there, which you don't want. There's a temporary fix for it. Involves just tapping them down a little, because they're not terribly, if they were rising out towards the middle, I'd be more concerned. They're only coming towards the edge, which means maybe the fingerboard is shrinking. But yeah, I can already see when I tap that out, some oil soap and some cleaner that, you know, I've been cleaning the board with is coming up. So they're coming away from the fretboard slightly. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to tap some of these frets back in, which isn't a big deal, but it does mean, you know, Buddy might either look for a new guitar or a proper refret. So I'll let him know. This is his only guitar, by the way. He has a job and everything. He can afford a far nicer guitar, but he's one of the few frugal guitar players out there who just doesn't feel the need to collect guitars. He's like one and done, the number one, right? So anyways, we've got quite a few frets to tap in, but like I'm just taking the soft hammer here and just lightly tapping the edges here along the fret where, yeah, I'm seeing where they're lifting up. The frets, again, weren't very dirty, like at all. All I needed is what I typically use, which is, now I've lost it, here it is, 2000 grit. I just went over and then kind of went to the side. And also, they're not dented too bad either. The worst one is his second fret, and it's only got like 2 small dents. So yeah, I mean, it's holding up pretty well to the abuse, but the frets lifting off is kind of concerning. Now, if they were lifting off towards the middle, if like the whole fret was coming up, I could maybe wick some super glue in there to keep them down. But as it is right now, like, this is probably the best option just to get us moving. I don't do a lot of fret work, so I don't really feel confident in ripping out the frets and refretting it, especially on someone else's guitar. So, but I'm confident enough to use a hammer on it. Anyways, I'm gonna get these frets fixed up, and then we're gonna wipe it down. Then we will take a look at that. Okay, so we've sort of dealt with that ordeal, sort of. Those frets are still like coming away. They would need to be refretted. But you know, this thing is like, gosh, now it would be worth, it's just a little over $100, maybe even less. But I don't know, he likes it, so it's like I can't really argue against that, you know, because I agree to attach me to like a $50 bass. So if he likes this that much, then, you know, we're going to try to keep it alive. I would just suggest to him just play it till it dies, basically, at this point, because it's not worth spending the money to refret it, you know, unless he feels that is worth it. But I will let him know. But we're going to clean this up a bit, and then, like I said, take apart that and see if I don't know if I have screws that'll fit there. I'm sure I can find some in my garage, but kind of wish I should have maybe like gotten them earlier, honestly. But yeah, not too much grime coming off of the guitar body itself. I mean, it is dirty, but not like terribly so. Just afraid every time for that pickup in there. I feel like it's just gonna break away at any moment. And he said he would like the functionality of that pickup back. I actually don't remember if at the beginning of this video I mentioned that I had offered to him, since he doesn't use the neck pickup anyways, why not just let me rip it out, cut you a custom pick guard, and then rewire it so that you only have a bridge pickup, which a lot of like newer artists have done actually. I don't know what the advantages of it are really, but yeah, apparently that's like a popular thing to do. It's just one pickup, just the bridge. So I think it gives you a lot of low end on the guitar, if that's what you're doing. So almost done cleaning up here. Like I said, it's not too bad. I mean, it's got a lot of like surface loose grime, but there's nothing like deep set in it. The bridge is pretty gunky. I'm just gonna rip that completely off and clean it separately, probably with the ultrasonic cleaner, just to make this go by a bit quicker. But yeah, it's looking newer. Like I said, that seafoam green still looks great. Hasn't really faded and nothing has worn away from it. Not that I don't think he would care. I think he'd think that looked pretty cool, and so would I. So anyways, I'm gonna continue on. I don't know if you can see that, but I guess the plastic lifter thing I put under the bridge is actually a couple of pieces from Gunpla sprue, which I find pretty funny. Here's the bridge, all nice and shiny from coming out of the ultrasonic cleaner. For those of you that might be wondering, all I put in there is water and dish soap. That's all you need. Don't use alcohol or anything weird like that. Also took all the screws off the pick guard and freed up this kind of nut washer thing for the selector switch. There's still some factory plastic under there. I guess he never took that off to get that out of there when he peeled all the plastic off. But we're here now, so that is now gone. There was some plastic under these screws too, so it was just kind of funny. But I have been under here before, so maybe I just didn't take that off last time. So let's see what's lurking under here. I'm going to clean this pick guard as well. Okay. For lucky, the screws will be in there, but I highly doubt it. Okay. So the pickup itself isn't broken or anything. We got a couple springs here. Oh, that's for pickup height. Now, oh, I see. It never had foam underneath. That's right. These pickups go up and down via these little springs that go on these screws here, like that, and then they go here, and then you adjust the pickup like that. So I'm gonna have to probably run to the store actually and grab a couple of screws, which I don't think I have these. I thought maybe I would, but unfortunately I don't. And then I'm gonna have to find maybe a pack of these springs. So I think that's what's gonna have to happen, but in here it's pretty tame. I might take this off and clean it, but around here I'm going to clean this. I might as well do this now. And try not to get too much on the electronics here. But if I do, I'll just wipe it up. I'm also gonna try to avoid I know it looks like I'm wiping it, but I'm trying to avoid that grounding wire that's kind of laying there. But it's okay to wipe off I just want to, as long as you get it before it, corrodes or anything, I dry it before it stays on there. It's okay. So wipe that up. I'll probably take that off too and just clean it up. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to run to the store and grab some screws and springs. I'm just gonna run to Home Depot and just bring those screws with me so I know what I'm looking for. And yeah, I will be back because it looks like all I got to do. I don't know how this happened then. All I can guess is the pickup was just too close, and he smacked it hard enough that either the springs broke or something. Because I really thought this was a traditional one where there's some foam under there, and I'm thinking about putting some foam under there just to help space it, and so like when he smacks it, it's not just floating. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. So putting something under there to make sure it doesn't fall into the guitar upon breaking. So we'll see. Um, just don't break it in the first place, I guess, is the real solution. Anyways, all right, I will see you guys in a few. You know, it didn't even occur to me. I haven't even checked the truss rod. The neck looks pretty straight, but it's twisted, which is that really sucks because I don't really have the tools to fix a twisted neck. I'd need to heat it up and steam it and stuff, but oh no, the truss rod. I thought this was the case because I can see the truss rod now. It has zero tension on it. So the truss rod is literally backed up all the way, but let's turn it and see if it actually does anything. But it's crazy. That truss rod nut was like almost coming out. So it's turning. Is it doing anything? Oh yeah, it did quite a bit. So the truss rod works really well, but I think, how much do I gotta back it off to get it straight again? Let's see. Because when you have no strings on it, it should just be straight. I should be using a straight edge, etc. But you know, I can kind of just tell. I mean, it's twisted like this, so that's the truss rod ain't gonna fix it. I don't know how that happened. Heat, humidity, whatever. I think at this point, I mean, that's about as straight I'm gonna get it. It's also kind of doing that, so. I don't know, man. I think you should just get a new guitar. But like I said, we're gonna play it to death, right? So we're gonna set it up the best I can, get the neck relief done and everything, and set the string action so it at least plays nice and doesn't buzz. But oh man, I'm gonna show you guys this. So you know, you don't really need a straight edge to see how it's kind of twisting off to the right there. It's twisted pretty bad. I'm really curious. I think I know how that happened. I mean, again, the truss rod didn't have any tension on it at all. So, you know, it's just a free floating piece of wood, really, with strings attached to it. And if you play it and you play kind of hard, like our lead guitarist here, you know, your sweat and heat and humidity start to warp the neck. So that's a pretty bad bend, twist. So again, my suggestion would just to be get a new guitar, start saving up for a new guitar, just because it's, you know, this isn't a super duper expensive guitar or anything, but keep it around as your secondary, etc. And then, you know, so just spend a little extra money on a new guitar. You know, if you want to stick with Squier, you don't want to go all the way up to a Fender or whatever. They make really nice Squiers for like $300-$400, you know. So anyways, again, we're going to get it playing at least decently so that he can play it till it literally dies or the neck implodes on him or something, you know. Hopefully not. I wish him the best, but yeah, this neck is screwed. Or you could be like me and just replace the neck only. You know, that is another option, because if we want to keep this body and you like the pickups and the color, we just replace the neck. That isn't actually too bad of an option. So you know what, I'll offer that to him, because with these fret ends and everything, it's like, I would just, yeah, this neck has got to go. I would say this neck has got to go. So, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But then what happens to all the mojo? All the relicking we worked hard on? Well, that almost turned into a 2-day ordeal. So I went to the Home Depot, or better known as We Ain't Ever Got What You Fucking Need Depot. And I first found screws. I couldn't find the exact screws, but found ones that would work. And then I found out they don't sell springs. Tiny springs like this, they don't sell them at all. So I left, and on the way back, I kind of ordered like an assorted guitar, screw, and spring kit. And then when I got back, I went to kind of clean up and realized that the springs were stuck to the back of the pickup like that. The two old ones that I thought I need to. So I have all the springs basically. So I had to run back to Home Depot and grab the screws that I should have just bought them just in case. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to get everything put back together. I'm going to just go ahead and clean this up with some of this. You know, just get it kind of polished. It's already pretty clean, as you can see, a lot cleaner than it was before. Get the tuners back on. And because I want to get strings on this overnight to see if it affects the neck in any significant way, because this neck is so messed up. But yeah, I want to do the setup today. I don't really like postponing jobs like this, you know, so I like to just get it all done in one go. Anyways, we got our hardware, so I'm going to get this all put together, and then we'll just continue the setup with strings, and I will teach you how to put strings on your guitar. Hey, it's starting to look like a guitar again. All right, those new screws, by the way, worked perfectly for those pickups, so I actually replaced all the screws, and now he's got 2 pickups again, and they both work. I checked. Anyways, we're going to move over here, and we are going to have a little lesson on string changing. I forgot to hit record on changing the E string. Hooray! All right, well, it's okay. I did a little bit of a sloppy job there. So we're going to do the A string now. So similar to bass, you're going to count out pegs, although it's a little shorter for guitar. So I just kind of go a little bit past 2. So we're going to do A string, right? So we go to D, G, you can tell I don't play guitar a lot, and just go slightly past that, and then actually bend the string, give yourself like a sharp 90-degree angle. So you kind of got that thing going on. Put it through your tuning peg, like so. And then what I do is I wrap around, I actually go underneath the string here, right? Make sure you keep that break angle, and then kind of bend it over like this. And then when I start wrapping, it'll wrap over that, and it'll kind of like lock it in place. So yeah, that's what I do. So, you know, as you can see, as I start turning, I'll wrap that. Actually, I'll go all the way here. A little bit more. I'll get this a lot neater, like off camera, but you kind of get the idea. And then I'll wrap. Oh, sorry, hands in the way. I'll make this neater when I go to like do it off camera, but I'll wrap that way, and it kind of locks that in place. So it's just an extra preventative measure. You know, everyone changes strings a little bit differently. All I know is you have to have more than just like 2 wraps. You know, I've got like 3 here, 3 to 4 wraps. That's what you want. So otherwise you'll be slipping in and out of tune all the time. Anyways, I'm going to do the rest of the strings, and then we will continue with the neck relief and string action. I did see that the neck now has a little bit of a back bow in it, which is good, which means I can tighten the truss rod possibly. So the truss rod, yes, Red October dive. All right, here comes the moment of truth, the moment of something, I don't know. I haven't looked at the neck really, but we can only pray. So on guitars, I like 10 thou. You can go anywhere between 10 and 12 thou, but he likes to play real low and fast, so we'll do that. And 17th fret, and it looks like it's too tight. It's like way too tight. Maybe not way too tight, but that's a good thing. No, I'm sorry. Is it too tight or too? Oh no, that means we gotta back off. There's not a lot of play in that truss rod. I'm having mad deja vu when I worked on this before and kind of ran into this. I can't even get the feeler gauge on the treble side, so I'll mess with the truss rod and see if I can get it going, but you know, we may have just to back off the truss rod completely and call it good, which is something I don't want to do. It's just not a good idea. Man, that really sucks. The real way to fix this is to take the truss rod like put just a little bit of tension on the truss rod, then steam this to make it, without strings obviously, to make it perfectly straight, and then that way you've got some play with the truss rod. But yeah, it is engaged a little bit, so I might have to just completely disengage, and we're gonna call that. I want to get at least a little bit of tension on it, leave it overnight, see if the strings help the neck a bit, but I don't really have super high hopes. So I realized something while checking the neck, and I got it to a reasonable position, I would say. The truss rod is slightly engaged, so it's not just floating in there. But I realized when I was checking the relief with my feeler gauge on the 7th fret that fret is lifting away. So I had to check the 6th fret. So yeah, and then I, looking at it closer, to almost every fret is lifting away. Most of them are, at least. So that neck has just gotta go. The neck's gotta go. The guitar's gotta go. It is what it is. Surprisingly, it doesn't buzz that much. You think it would, but I don't know why it's not. I think because the string action's a little high, so I might leave it that way. The string action right now is just kind of at around 6/64, so kind of correct. I'll check that anyways, and there's plenty of adjustment in the saddle, so if I did want to actually bring it down, I could, but I don't think I am. I'll intonate it, but yeah, it sucks because I know he really likes this thing, but it's just as simple as a neck change, really. If he wants to keep the body and the pickups, the neck is, and that'll probably be the most cost-effective thing for him. But I'll talk to him and let him know. But maybe you guys might see this guitar again. We'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna do the string action. I'll do the intonation. Nothing exciting there, and then we'll see how it sounds when all is said and done. All right, so here we go. So it's all cleaned up. I got the action and intonation really good. And then the pickup height's all nice. So yeah, this is sort of the test, I suppose, to see if we have a lot of buzzing or whatever. This is also the part where you find out that I am not a guitar player whatsoever. I don't even, do I actually know any songs on guitar? Maybe not, but I can play chords and stuff. We're here to test it anyway. So anyways, this should be volume. A little scratchy there, but that's towards the low end, which is fine. Tone. So both pots work, and then of course the pickups, right? So that was sort of our big thing to accomplish, was get that pickup back in order and get it all set up and cleaned up. The neck, again, it's just got to be replaced, so the guitar's got to be replaced, one or the other. But I mean, here's some clean stuff. I just had this little orange practice app. This is the only guitar amp I own, by the way, so again, you can tell I don't really play a lot of guitar, but it's really not a bad sounding guitar for what it, for how much it was. How much did you pay for it brand new? It couldn't have been more than $200. It had to have been less than 200. I can't remember. I forgot I gave him this guitar strap, by the way. This is so old. This is from high school, when I was obsessed with I still kind of am obsessed with the Beatles, but when I was really obsessed with the Beatles, I had a viola bass, an Epiphone one, and got this Union Jack one to complete the look. Anyways, I'm waffling. Let's listen to some other tones and stuff. Why not? So, bridge pickup. Neck. And mind you, that's what he was playing on pretty much exclusively, because that pickup was inside the guitar. So that's the sort of tones he was getting, but he doesn't usually play clean. We'll play a little dirty here in a moment, but. Yeah, so it sounds good. It's nice and loud. He wanted this mainly, well, he liked the Mustang shape, the color, and also he wanted humbuckers at a lower price, I suppose. Anyway, so here's the dirty channel. Are we too loud? No, I think we're okay. The dirty channel on this thing isn't too great, but I don't really want to hook up any pedals, I'll be honest. So, anyways, let's see. His favorite band's Nirvana. So, do I know any Nirvana songs? I know one. I do know Molly's Lips, right? So. Or is it? No. That's that whole song. Anyways, like I said, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We fixed the pickup. We did our setup when we cleaned it up, and yeah, it's unfortunate about that neck because it's a good guitar, again, especially for the price. Like, I'm pretty sure this is a Bullet Mustang. I know it usually should say Bullet, but maybe it's an Affinity. I really don't know, but yeah. Well, I hope he's happy with it, and I wonder what he's gonna do about the neck situation. It needs to be refretted. It's twisted. It's playing fine. It probably plays better than it did before, honestly. And again, my suggestion would just be replace. I've said it a billion times now, but I'm going to say it one more time. Replace the neck or just replace the whole guitar. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.